That when Jesus came to earth, he came to die for all our sins.
Porque todos, por naturaleza, sabemos que existe un Dios.
In the night, how does it come? Quickly and unexpectedly. Yes, that's right. It was about 6 months ago, I think, Janice and Alicia and I had already went to bed. It was about 2 in the morning, and all of a sudden, not 6 months ago? When was it?
1 month ago.
She says 1 month ago. I think it was before the pandemic. But wait a minute, what did you say? 4 o'clock in the morning, see how things change. I'm probably right, but they're saying those things, but I don't know. Anyway, whatever it was, I'll tell you the truth is, we heard this loud bang, and we all got up, and I was looking for a baseball bat somewhere. I couldn't find one, and it was like 3 or 4 bangs, and it was like, what's going on here? And we're looking around, and I finally go outside, and I see on our garage door, there's footprints. They're about this high. There's like 4 footprints. They dented in part of the garage door, and we called the police, and we were wondering what happened. And we found out that they had found out they'd done it to somebody else's house about a mile and a half away. And somebody I don't know who it was, but somebody just came and tried to kick in the garage doors. Straight, but they gave us no warning, right? No warning. Just all of a sudden, too late to. I've never had like a thief call me up, say, "Is this Mr. Ashcraft?" Yeah. I just want to let you know at 4 in the morning, I'm going to be coming to your house. I'm going to be stealing your stuff. I just wanted to give you a warning. Anybody had a warning like that? No, they don't give you, even the snatch people that snatch stuff out of your cars, they don't give you a warning, just smash and go. Okay, and so Paul is saying this day of the Lord when it comes is going to be like a thief in the night. And he didn't make that up himself. He got that from Jesus back in Matthew 24. Jesus was talking about this same topic, the day of the Lord. And he said it's going to come like a thief at night. And so he goes on to say, for they will say peace and safety. So he's saying that the government, that everybody around is going to say, we got this handled, no problem. We got control over it. And that's what the Roman government used to say, because they ruled the world, right? And so anytime there was a problem, they said, no problem. We will make sure that things are peaceful and things are safe, okay? And so they will say peace and safety. How many think that the government can promise peace and safety? Well, they can promise it. They can promise it. But what's the signal, Bill? Can't hear me? Oh, yeah, okay, he was saying, no, they can't. They can promise it, but they can't do it. I thought he was telling me to turn up my mic or something. But okay, yeah, so they can promise it, but it's a promise that they can't keep because you can't control things. You can't, and the government a lot of times will say, we got the military, we can handle it. We got the politicians, we can handle it. We've got the medical people, we can control things. But as Bill indicates, they can't control it, can they, Bill? And so he's saying people will say peace and safety, but no, that's not what's happening. He says, then suddenly destruction comes upon them as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. And so we see the picture that Paul gives, that Jesus gave, and now here Paul says another thing that Jesus said in Matthew 24 when he was talking about this day of the Lord. It's going to come like labor pains on a pregnant woman. How many of you have been pregnant here? Okay, none of us guys, right? I haven't been pregnant, but my wife has experienced 3 pregnancies. And so there's some things I just want to observe about pregnancy. Okay, about labor pains, that is. Labor pains come all of a sudden, right? It's just like, blam, all of a sudden there's a labor pain out of nowhere. I haven't experienced it, but I understand they're painful. Okay? Number 3, they're repeated. They go over and over and over again. They get closer together. I learned that the hard way, right? Okay. We live too far from the hospital for one of the pregnancies, right? At least that's my excuse. Intensity. They grow in intensity, and the result is supposed to be a great event, okay? So, since the Thessalonians already knew about the day of the Lord, okay, and since we might not know so much about it, I'm going to go to Matthew 24 where Jesus described some signs that the day of the Lord was about to come. But before we do that, I want you to know, according to Paul, we were all snatched up before these signs started happening, right? We were snatched up, and then these signs started happening. So in Matthew 24, Jesus gives some signs, some indicators that the day of the Lord is about to come. And so we're looking at Matthew chapter 24, verse 5. And here's what it says. And by the way, all through the Old Testament, they talk about the day of the Lord over and over and over again. And it's some big, massive, terrifying, and culminating event. And so Matthew 24, verse 5, it says this. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Okay, so the first thing that we notice about a sign or a labor pain that should indicate that the day of the Lord is coming. And by the way, is there anything that needs to happen between now and the time that we get taken up? Could it happen right now? Could it happen before the end of this service? Okay, yeah, it could happen. So there's no sign that we need to be taken up. We can just get snatched up at any time. They call that imminent. It means it's hanging over our heads. It could happen at any time. But now we're talking about signs that indicate that the day of the Lord is upon them. Jesus calls them birth pains. And he said that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, I'm the Christ, I'm from God, I'm the Messiah, and people are going to believe them. And ultimately, after 3.5 years, there's going to be one person that they're going to decide is the Christ. And a whole bunch of people will believe him, and that person will be called the Antichrist. So if you're taking notes, sign number 1 is many people claiming to be Christ. Okay, if you see that happening, you might wonder, that's the right. I'm not up there, right? Okay, number 2, in verse 6, it says, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you're not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So the second thing is wars and rumors of wars. And if you look in the Old Testament and you look in some descriptions in Revelation, it talks about these wars being massive, being huge, millions of people dying, hundreds of millions of people dying. And it's hard to picture, right? But do you think it's any easier to picture now than it was to picture, let's say, 100 years ago?
Present us faultless before the presence of His glory with exceeding joy.
Con un gozo grande.
To the only wise God,
El único Dios sabio,
our Savior,
nuestro Salvador,
be glory, majesty, dominion, and power.